The dry erase markers are worn out. So fortunately, we've arrived at the final of our Power 5 conference predictions for 2017. Mark Rogers TV on the eve of college football 2017. Of course, we took a taste of college football last weekend with the likes of Oregon State, Colorado State, etc., Rice, and Stanford. The big boys get it on this weekend, and we've got a few conference matchups and some Titanic matchups highlighted by, of course, Alabama, Florida State. We arrive at the Pac-12. Check out the other videos. Really check out all of our content here at Mark Rogers TV because we talk to the best bloggers and broadcasters across college football. So just to give you a sample, just got off the line with Chris Swanson. He writes for Rivals, USC football, complete analysis and personnel breakdown, and that's just USC. We cover it top to bottom, all the 5 Power 5 major conferences. All right, here in the Pac-12, we've got some interesting matchups here and decisions to make. I consider this to be the most balanced conference in college football. There's not as much of a gap between the elite and everyone else. Of course, everyone's talking USC in the South. Most people like Washington in the North. That was our playoff pick last season. Stanford, Washington, they tie for the North Division. Stanford wins the head-to-head. They got the game in Palo Alto, and the Cardinal win it despite an extremely difficult overall schedule. They finish at 10-2. Oregon bounces back to a certain extent, gets back to postseason play. Washington State takes a bit of a step back in conference play where they were 7-2 last year. Cal and Oregon State, we got a taste of the Beavers and what they accomplished last weekend in losing by 31 points at Colorado State. Now, we don't want to overreact to one result. Oregon State may be a little bit better than that, but if you look at the schedule and the results last year, I think they feasted on a marginal Pac-12 to finish at 5-7 overall and 3-6 in the conference, but the 5-7 finish, the best Oregon State's finished in a long time. USC, the class of the South. I like UCLA to bounce back with Josh Rosen back in play. And not just Rosen injured last year. UCLA has recruited extremely well under Jim Mora. Whether he's able to see it through past 2017, we shall see. And with an 8-4 campaign, he'll probably get the nod to stick around Brentwood. USC wins at Utah and UCLA next. Colorado takes a step back. Mike McIntyre has done an exceptional job, but they showed us against Oklahoma State and Washington at the end of last year. They weren't quite ready for prime time and won't be this season as well. They drop back to 4-5, 7-5, still reach a bowl game. Arizona State, just Arizona football in general, has hit the skids. USC Stanford in the Pac-12 championship game. Pac-12 fans, Pac-12 commissioner, everyone affiliated with the Pac-12 pulling desperately for USC to avoid the upset. Stanford over USC in the Pac-12 championship game annihilates the conference off the college football playoff map unless there's chaos elsewhere. But it doesn't look good as Stanford wins the Pac-12 at 10-2 and would become the first 2-loss team to make it to the college football playoff. You've seen what we've predicted elsewhere. Want you to watch the other videos because we've got a Final Four for college football. Hopefully it's much like our Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, Washington pick from last year to reach the semifinals and the championship game. Let's talk about it for your place for college football right here at Mark Rogers TV.